Get ready, Sister Wives viewers. The drama is coming to a boil. In this, hey friends, welcome back. I'm Sarah, and this is the TLC Next Update. Dramatic lies are finally being revealed in the tell-all, and Cody Brown makes a jaw-dropping statement about his love life that leaves everyone speechless. But there's more. Paedon Brown also has a serious warning that can set the whole Brown family in a tizzy. Buckle up because this is the most dramatic reveal to date. Get ready, Sister Wives fans. The drama is officially boiling over. In a jaw-dropping preview of the highly anticipated tell-all special, deep secrets, hidden tensions, and emotional betrayals come spilling to the surface. From Cody Brown's shocking proclamation regarding his sex life to Paedon Brown's foreboding message that sends a dark cloud hanging over the future of the family, this is looking to be the most dramatic and disclosure-filled episode in Sister Wives history. Cody Brown's shocking love revelation. One of the most shock-filled moments of the preview comes when Cody Brown, father of the family, opens up about where his heart really is. And it's not where many viewers would have guessed. Though Cody has always had a tangled past with his 4 wives, Mary, Janelle, Christine, and Robin, he now seems to be putting it all out there. In the tell-all, Cody openly admits that his emotional and romantic attachment to Robin has never wavered, even when his other marriages fell apart. "I fell in love like a lightning bolt," Cody says, describing how he met Robin. That never came up before. He even confesses that he will visit church with her again, not because he believes in the church, but to claim her, ensuring other men that she is taken. This candid confession re-sparks fan allegations of favoritism and emotional abandonment of his other wives. Cody's all-consuming attention on Robin has always been a hot-button issue in the Sister Wives story. And this tell-all could confirm what most viewers already suspect, that Robin was always the real wife in his mind. Paedon Brown makes a deadly threat if Cody's confessions were not enough. The emotional crux of the tell-all gets dark with the introduction of Paedon Brown, Christine, and Cody's sole son. In talking with a serious voice, Paedon offers information that suggests extreme turmoil within the Brown family and even foreshadows yet more heartache. Though the specifics of Peyton's ultimatum are being kept under wraps until the episode airs, insiders on the show indicate his warning concerns the emotional stability and mental welfare of the kids in the family after the heartbreaking death of his brother, Garrison Brown. Peyton's words are a chilling reminder of the tragic loss just sustained by the family in the death by suicide of 25-year-old Garrison. The pain is fresh, and Peyton's somber tone in the in-depth preview foreshadows that the aftermath is not yet at an end. He calls on the family to look inside, take responsibility, and cease faking normalcy. A web of deceit unraveled at last as all the wives sit down to tell their truth. The tell-all is a platform for some of the most agonizing admissions to date. Christine recounts the emotional battering she withstood for years before she walked away from the plural marriage. Janelle, the most even-tempered of the wives, makes biting criticisms of how the family operated in private. And Mary, who once was the most faithful, confesses that she clung to a broken dream. The biggest shock of the preview comes from Robin Brown's own admission. Robin Brown never really wanted to be legally wedded to Cody. This confession shocks the panel into questioning the root of the couple's entire relationship. Robin, who has often been seen as the instigator of the family's imbalance, appears vulnerable and conflicted, leaving fans to wonder if there's more pain in her past than previously seen. Cody confronts his failures for the first time in what feels like forever. Cody Brown is beginning to face the consequences of his actions and acknowledge the role he played in the breakdown of his family. He spills all in the tell-all with unusual vulnerability, explaining that the burden of plural marriage has emotionally exhausted and left him empty. Cody says he feels betrayed by the same lifestyle he was once such a defender of, explaining it's like being slapped in the face by something he believed so ardently in. It's an unexpected flash of self-realization, one that some fans might like, others will consider too little, too late. As Cody fights to keep tears from his eyes, fumbling through his emotions and acknowledging he is overwhelmed, confused, and emotionally depleted, the viewer can't help but ask, has he really learned anything from it all? The tell-all isn't only emotional, it's raw. It's honest. Anger is palpable. voices quiver, and ancient wounds are torn asunder. Fans who've been around a while will watch this episode as the catharsis they've been waiting for. No more scripted scenes, no more rehearsed responses, just honesty. Each of the wives contributes her own point of view, and collectively, they draw a painful but realistic portrait of a fractured family. Years of festering resentment, lopsided affection, and miscommunication are finally spoken aloud. What had been described as an unusual, if problematic, family system is seen here to have been inextricably flawed within. The tell-all strips away the well-constructed facade, revealing the emotional mess behind some of the show's most endearing scenes. The moment the preview was released, fans overwhelmed social media with their responses. Reddit forums were filled with fervent arguments and emotional support for the ladies who had walked out. One of the viewers shared, "This is the most real tell-all so far. Cody appears devastated, and for once, it seems like he is actually listening." Another response was on Paedon Brown's heartbreaking demeanor, stating, "It hurts to see him so shaken. That family has lost more than most people ever know." Paedon's bravery is being highly commended, particularly considering the tragic loss of his brother Garrison. And now the largest question hangs in the balance. Where does the family go from here? As the dust settles emotionally, there is no doubt that things will never be the same again. Whether this is the end of Cody's polygamous marriage or the beginning of something new for the wives, the dynamic has irreversibly changed. This isn't merely another recap episode, it's a reckoning. All the behind-the-scenes stuff is coming to the forefront. The favoritism, the emotional abandonment, the things they were afraid to say out loud. For viewers who've watched the Brown family navigate years of ups and downs, this is like the final chapter to a painful and long book. And yet, for Christine Brown, it's a whole new beginning. Since leaving Cody, she's been happy in a monogamous relationship with her new husband, David Woolley. Having spent years dividing up her husband with 3 other women, Christine now has a relationship where she is first. And she couldn't be more content. She's even confessed that she was always destined for monogamy. In retrospect, Christine can see how much of her own life centered on Cody. How frequently her choices, her plans, even her frame of mind were structured around his desires and needs. In a tearful interview, she admitted, "I was probably more concerned with that man than I knew. Even when he wasn't around, I'd be wondering what he'd want, what he'd do. We had to remake everything around him." Today, as a single mother of 6 with a fresh sense of self-sufficiency, Christine is finally realizing how unhealthy that was. And she's not afraid to say so. She's no longer willing to bend her life to suit someone else's needs. This tell-all episode is a dramatic turning point for the sister-wives saga. With Cody's breakdown, Robin's shocking revelation, Paedon's stern warning, and Christine's newfound understanding, the truth is finally being revealed. And it's a lot more powerful and painful than anyone ever anticipated. Christine Brown lived for years in her life like it was all about someone else. Her ex-husband, Cody Brown. When questioned during a recent interview if she ever doubted if he actually respected her, Christine hesitated and said, "I don't know if he would feel like he needed to." In a sense, perhaps he did, but not in the ways that counted most. It is a nuanced but strong declaration from a woman who spent decades living in a plural marriage, attempting to be seen, heard, and appreciated. For nearly 2 decades, TLC's Sister Wives has pulled back the curtain on the lives of the Brown family, a polygamous household led by patriarch Cody Brown. Since the series debuted in 2010, audiences have watched the family grow, evolve, and, in many ways, fall apart. What began as a journey about love and faith has turned into a saga of heartbreak, betrayal, and hard truths. The marriage of Cody to a 4th, much younger wife, Robin, now Cody's sole surviving partner, provided a breakpoint in the family's dynamics, one that the Browns never managed to regain from. Throughout 19 seasons, several of Cody's kids have matured and started establishing their own lives beyond the confines of reality television. One of them, Gwendolyn Brown, has been particularly outspoken on what life was truly like off-camera. In an honest account, she explained that having Sister Wives filmed brought everything about their family life to a complete end, beginning with something simple like not being hungry anymore. "We just got flung into fame and flung into money," she remembered. And I didn't want and need things anymore. For a kid who had ever known hunger, the show was a blessing at first. But the good came at a cost. Gwendolyn, who was only 8 when production started, also recalls the psychological strain of being under constant observation. With cameras came not only money and publicity, but a total absence of privacy. There were no moments of relief from scrutiny. I couldn't have a bad day, she said. Not a lot of privacy. One experience that continues to haunt her was when she had a fight with one of Cody's other wives. Although she attempted to go to the room, the fight carried over into a common area, and the cameras witnessed it all. I was mortified, she confessed. As Gwendolyn matured, she started working through those early years with a greater understanding of herself. She confesses that sometimes she even indulged in the anger just for the sake of being on screen. In hindsight, she realizes now a child caught up in a maelstrom of emotion, fame, and expectation. Even if, as a child, you craved attention, she said, you can look back as an adult and be like, that poor kid. Also, poor me now. Since that time, Gwendolyn has forged her own legacy many steps outside the Brown surname. In 2022, she was in the news for having a breast reduction surgery and then marrying her girlfriend, Beatrice Queiroz. She's also emerged as a critical voice for LGBTQ+ advocacy, sharing her own story and speaking out on behalf of others in the community. While she's taken a step back from the spotlight, Gwendolyn remains linked to Sister Wives in her own terms. She has a YouTube channel on which she reacts to reruns, sharing behind-the-scenes information and truthful commentary about what actually occurred behind and in front of the camera. For viewers, her videos represent a precious opportunity to hear the truth. Not the edited truth presented on television, but the lived truth of a woman who was there at the beginning. Janelle Brown's ideal life is finally coming into focus, but not without its drama. Through years of sharing a husband and raising 6 kids within a plural marriage, the Sister Wives Season 19 star is embarking on an independent chapter all her own. Janelle just turned 56, and although she's finally on the path to the independent life she's always desired, she's experienced a frustrating setback that's trying her patience. Janelle initially became a member of the Brown family in 1993 as Cody Brown's second wife. He was then already married to Mary. And within a year, he would also marry Christine. 16 years after he married Christine, he married Robin, his fourth and sole present wife. Cody had 4 wives and 18 children at the peak of the family's polygamous way of life. On Sister Wives' early seasons, the Browns shared a specially designed multi-unit house in Utah. There was a separate room for each wife, but all of them under one roof, a situation that made Cody witness his whole family daily. But all that changed when the family moved out of Utah and into 4 different houses. Distance bred disunity, and by season 19, there was only Robin left. Janelle, like Christine and Mary, had left the marriage behind. Although there was a breakup, Janelle didn't exit polygamy because she despised it. She enjoyed the setup. She enjoyed the freedom it provided her. Cody wasn't home every night, and she enjoyed that alone time. Unlike Christine, who desired a monogamous relationship, Janelle never objected to sharing her husband. What destroyed her spirit was Cody's emotional abandonment of their children. Janelle and Cody had 6 children together: Logan, Maddie, Hunter, Garrison, Gabriel, and Savannah. They had once had a very close family. But as the years went by, Cody's attention turned to the kids he had with Robin. That turned Janelle's children visibly resentful, and Cody didn't do much to rectify it. The estrangement grew worse during the COVID-19 pandemic, when Cody placed strictures that Janelle's sons did not observe. So he cut them off. For Janelle, that was the ultimate insult. When he hurt her children, she was finished. Having been in a plural marriage for 29 years, Janelle was now single. Having no reason to stay in Arizona, Janelle took the drastic step. She moved to North Carolina to be near her daughter, Maddie Brush, her husband, Caleb, and their 3 kids. It was a fresh start, and one Janelle was set on making hers. For a decade, Janelle had devoted herself to raising a big family. But now that her children were all grown, she was finding herself. That led her down a path she never imagined: flower farming. Touched by her passion for gardening, Janelle purchased land and set out to construct a life as a flower farmer, finally living for herself. But just when it was all coming together, she was derailed. In a recent Instagram post, Janelle posted that red tape delays were shelving her plans. In a video recording set in her daughter Maddie's backyard, she described, "Got a good bit of planting done in the backyard garden, while we wait for what seems like forever for the government agencies to stop being government agencies and approve our permits." It's a maddening setback, but one that will not deter her. Janelle's strength is just one of the qualities that have made her so beloved by fans. From plural wife to single woman, from mother of 6 to budding flower farmer, Janelle is building a new life with determination, tenacity, and poise. Janelle Brown's vision of creating a future on her own terms is seated not only in flowers and fresh earth, but in hard-won lessons of the past. Her new North Carolina property isn't the first time Sister Wives star Janelle has invested in real estate. She co-owned the infamous Coyote Pass property in Arizona, once a keystone of the Brown family's aspirations, until recently. As far back as 2018, Cody and his wives bought the spread acreage with dreams of constructing 4 individual houses for their expanding plural family. But as strife escalated and relationships disintegrated, that fantasy gradually died. In one particularly poignant moment during season 19, Cody toured the Coyote Pass land and acknowledged that his vision of an unbroken family, his so-called Camelot, was gone. The property had become a symbol not of unity, but of loss. Now, Coyote Pass is gone. According to The Sun, the property recently sold for $1.5 million, nearly doubling the original purchase price of $820,000. The profits are to be divided between Cody, Janelle, Mary, and Robin. Christine, who sold her portion to Cody years ago, won't receive any proceeds from the sale. It's the end of an era and the start of something more personal, something more down to earth. Her flower farm in North Carolina isn't a hobby. It's her recovery. In an update recently, she referred to it as her gardening outlet, where she can channel her energy into helping things grow, rather than keeping things together. Though bureaucratic red tape presently is slowing development on her dream property, Janelle isn't dismayed. She's already seeding, already scheming, already living life on her own terms. Not like Coyote Pass, where too many voices fought and too many dreams were lost. This time, it's simply Janelle's vision, and she's at last ready to bloom.